Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, or whatever. The Bill Crane Report with Dwayne Weiss.
Hey, everybody.
On the air. And we're ready to rock and roll with a full boat here, let me tell you.
Fasten your seatbelts. It might get rough.
It might get rough is right. What you got to kick us off, partner? Because once I get rolling here,
Well, I got
there's turning back.
A couple of questions. You're a sports guy.
Yeah.
What happened to Farinella in the Sun Chronicle?
He's gone?
He's gone. He hasn't been in the paper now for a month.
He's been there for 200 years.
I know. He's gone. You know, you used to have the Farinella picks for the football. Now it's been the Guru. Well, it's over, but now Guru picks. His name is not mentioned. There's nothing with him about him anymore. I figured you'd know.
Now, Farinella started as a kid, or, in his 20s writing for them, like on an amateur basis.
Yep.
And eventually worked himself up to the sports guy. They were probably paying him a salary. Mm-hmm. I would guess.
There was nothing in the paper that, he's left, but he just simply vanished into thin air.
Don't have any idea. Okay. But in each and every one of those newspapers, there's a telephone number.
I could call, I guess.
Yeah, give him a call. Just say, hey, I miss him. What happened?
I don't really miss him.
No, but well, you've missed him with every shot so far.
That's right.
Yeah. But, they ought to have something to tell you.
Yep. Oh, yeah, okay. And, well, this is off camera. But my second thing is hypocrisy. This thing with a blackface.
Oh.
My God. Here's an article about, it says, hypocrisy much, Saturday Night Live, ? Because they were making a big fuss about it. It goes on to tell how many times they have used blackface in their skits. Kimmel, he's been doing it since 2006 up to 2008, 17 or 18 with these black skits. But all of a sudden, oh no, we would never do anything like that.
Guy went to a costume party.
Yeah, back in 35 years ago.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he is a bad actor.
Talk about hypocrisy. NBC, if you go to the NBC and look up past issues of Saturday Night Live, they went back and edited all the blackface skits out.
You got to be kidding me.
The article is talk about hypocrisy.
Wow.
They don't want to touch it now.
You look in the movies. How many times did you see blackface in the movies?
Oh, constantly.
Constantly. I mean, are we just going to go back and destroy every movie, that...
It's...
this is absolutely... It's PC run amok. Is what it is.
It's rewriting history, too,
mm-hmm.
in a smaller vein. But, we rewrite history with the Confederate statues and renaming Yawkey Way, and somebody wants to change the name of Faneuil Hall over something that happened, long time ago, and it's part of history. You can't change it.
300 years ago, 350 years
it's
ago.
It's who we were. But this is the same thing. We want to go back now and rewrite it.
Yeah, we want to cleanse ourselves.
Yep. It's crazy.
It really and truly is. Hypocrisy it runs hand in hand with PC, political correctness. It's ridiculous. And I'm sick and tired of it. I made a couple of notes here. Alcoholism, nicotine usage, opioid epidemics, AIDS are all behavior-driven problems.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's tough ratcheting up sympathy for these folks when they play the victim card and not the it's all my own fault, I am an abuser card.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a victim, as Curly used to say on the Three Stooges, I'm a victim of circumstances.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But these are all decisions made by the people.
Ultimately, yes.
Yeah.
We used to be watching, when HIV came out, not came out, but it was started getting mainstream. I thought, how did you get it? You didn't get it from drinking a glass of water. You didn't get it from getting a bad meal at a restaurant. The guy next to you on an airplane didn't sneeze and give it to you.
You
got it yourself.
Sleeping with an open window.
Yeah, that's right. But so I just could not. I said, that particular segment of society had a great PR people behind them.
Oh, of course.
They
Hollywood.
took something that was
the entertainment
totally
industry.
negative and turned it into victimless crime, and they were the victims of this and the victims of that.
Yeah. Elizabeth Taylor's famed hairdresser.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why she went to bat for them all, because of her hairdresser. But, you feel badly, all right? It's a horrible disease.
It is.
In everything, all right? And so is an addiction. But darn it all, you walked into it with your eyes wide open. By the way, we should consider Belgium as an interesting role model. Enter the country and you get 3 months to get a job or you're out.
Yep.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
That's right. Ever wonder the origin of the saying, sleep tight?
No.
It's from the old beds in the 16th and 17th century England. Keep the ropes, the old rope beds, keep the ropes constantly tightened or they'll sag and you'll get aches and bad sleep.
Makes sense.
So, sleep tight.
So many of those old sayings kind of are origin someplace. It's quite interesting.
Now, I've just blown a great question for trivia.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll pretend I didn't hear it.
Now, speaking of hypocrites, Senator Warren.
I don't know how you can tag the word hypocrite on that poor innocent lady.
I feel bad even saying this.
You should.
That tireless worker for the middle class states she feels their pain. Her disclosure sheet shows she and her hubby are worth between $4 and $10 million.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's always used to talk about the one percenters.
Yeah.
Well, she is the one percenter.
Do you know, if I were worth $10 million, I'd be full of pain too.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. I'd be laying on a beach someplace.
Full of Jack Daniels.
That's right.
In a recent Gallup poll, 69% of those questioned said they feel they will be better off 1 year from now. That's the highest figure in 16 years. Gee, we must be doing something right, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Last time I checked, the stock market was up almost 400 today.
Today?
Yeah.
Was it because of the
China
capitulating on some of the things?
Well, that's kind of it. Yeah. I think word's leaking out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the smart guys are buying.
Oh, absolutely.
In a Democratic poll in Iowa, only Joe Biden beats President Trump, and only by 51 to 49. All the others lose to the president.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
and this is bothering him big time.
And this, by the way, is a Democratic poll. So you can take that for what it's worth.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a shocker. YouTube has 2 billion users worldwide.
That is amazing.
It is. And when you figure that most of the world does not speak English,
Yep.
and yet 2 billion users. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well,
That internet is so connected the world.
unbelievable.
I think that was the intention originally, but
Do you know that is probably one of the single items that has had the biggest impact?
absolutely
on our
cultures, everything.
Everything.
Yep.
I know I'll be wondering out loud, and I'll say to my wife, what goes into Swedish meatballs? And she'll say, how the hell am I supposed to know? I never make them. I say, okay, go upstairs to Google. What goes into Swedish meatballs?
Oh, yeah.
1 second later, the answer
got
is
the
on
answer.
the screen.
Yep. Well, we got a Alexa for Christmas. You know, Alexa, do this, do that. It's not hooked up yet.
Oh,
I don't know how to do it. It has to go through Amazon.
your son's going to have
He's
to come
going
over
to. He
and
said,
do
"I'll
it.
come down and we'll get it all set up." And he gave us some electrical like plugs and things. This is tuned into Alexa. So if you want her to turn the lights on, you want to do this, she'll listen to this. And I'm thinking, boy, I should have had it. I could ask her who's going to win the Super Bowl and put $100 on it. And Monica says, "No, she don't know stuff like that." I said, "I thought she knew everything."
What she will, you know how she'll answer that?
She's got cute little phrases there.
Yeah, the casinos in Nevada have established the Patriots as 3-point favorites.
Exactly. Yeah. But I try to stay up on technology. Not that I can use it, just be aware of it.
Understand what it is, yeah. I've given up on most of it.
You know what? It took me a while to get a hold of is AI, that artificial intelligence.
Yep.
And I kept thinking, what is that? It encompasses a lot of different things. I think one of the best or simple explanations I heard was Ford Motor used it to determine credit reliability, credit risk on Ford credit. And what it did was search, well, what it does, it searches areas that you didn't tell it to do it. It has developed sources and ideas to do it. For example, it went and it found that people with high mileage cars are greater credit risks, and they are, but Ford never told them to do that program to do it. It developed that thing to look at things like high mileage, how many miles they drive. I thought, my God, that's scary.
It is. And you know, I think a perfect example of artificial intelligence, too, is you can sit down and you can play chess or bridge against a computer.
Oh, yeah.
That has got artificial intelligence that understands how to play chess and can take a look at your move.
That's right. It learns from you and knows how to come back to you the next time.
That's exactly right, yeah. Yep. Thinks it through and says, oh, I know how to block him. Bingo.
Yeah, because he's going to do this.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's scary is what it is.
It is.
Really and truly
But
is.
it's for two guys like you and I. We just don't have the background or the ability anymore to absorb all this stuff.
Can't do it. Can't do it. I mean, I'm lucky if I can remember the lineup of the Red Sox.
Oh, yeah.
By the way,
what?
Have you been saving your pennies?
No.
No? Well, shame on you. One of the sports companies that runs these baseball card shows and all of that, autograph shows,
memorabilia and all that.
It's got lined up 5 Patriots.
Okay.
For an private autograph session. In other words, you send your money in, and you will get them in the mail.
Okay.
So, I'll start at the bottom of the barrel. Let's see. I'll start at the top of the barrel. It'll be easier for me. Tom Brady, an autographed color picture.
Oh, my God. I wouldn't be surprised it's $3,000, $4,000.
$1,049.
Okay, well that even is outrageous.
Gronk.
$1,200.
$299.
$299.
Yep. Sonny Michel.
$150.
$99.
Okay.
Stephen Gilmore.
$50.
$79.
I'm using artificial intelligence, trying to learn where you're going.
Kyle Van Noy. I think was one of the most valuable players.
$50.
Yeah, $59.
Yeah, okay.
And James, the blocking fullback.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, $49.
$49.
He's the cheapest guy, $49. And then you got to add $5 for the color picture.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised they're doing that because
$1,049 for Tom Brady to go.
Yeah, that's right. That's amazing.
Yeah. And you know what? This will be a big payoff for that guy running this show.
Oh, my.
Yep. I'm sure it's I'll split the take with you 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
You sign, I'll mail them out to the people, I'll sell them the pictures.
It's going to be phenomenal. But that doesn't surprise me because everything's going pay. You want to pay for this, pay for that. In fact, there was an article here about, we'll get to it. It was an article that ironically, the Globe ran. Warren specifies or emphasizes diverse or equitable treatment. Right underneath it's a whole article about if you got money, you can get to the head of the line. From everything, from Disney World to
right to the
popcorn
front.
stands, right to the front.
That's it.
AMC theaters downtown Boston cost you $10 a month to join the concession club. When you go to the movie there, you don't have to wait for those people eating popcorn. You got a little special area where you can go over there.
Do you know what I think the biggest racket in the world is these football teams, it appears to be professional football teams that do this. Join the club and get in on the action.
Yep.
$200 and you get to go on the waiting list in case season tickets your number ever comes up.
Yep.
Only 4 or 5 sets of season tickets are turned in annually.
But you pay that fee.
And if you're number 8,000 on the list, you're not going to live 5,000 years in order to come to the head of the list. But $200. Oh, and not only that, but also if we have these private parties where you pay to meet the players and mingle with them, you get first choice of a ticket for that.
First choice of a ticket.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm telling you.
We're going nuts. There's so many ways that they're making money off this stuff.
We are going nuts. Now, yesterday, a tractor trailer, allegedly, a piece of ice flew off the top and crashed through a windshield of a brand new Toyota.
Yep.
A little girl got cut, and thank God, she got cut
killed.
Over here.
Yeah, she
just beside her eye, you know, 8-year-old girl. Now, she was transferred to Lawrence General Hospital, minor injuries. They're searching for the tractor trailer. Someone turned in a license plate of it. Well, and then there was someone. They interviewed someone. These drivers have got to be more careful. They got to know what they're doing and all this crap. You ever drive a big rig? Yeah.
Not that big.
No, but I mean, you've driven big-sized trucks.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You got 2 side mirrors. You can see going back here. You can't see what's behind you.
No, sometimes
he didn't stop. He didn't know.
He don't even know what's back there.
Good God. You're driving one of those huge things, 65 miles an hour. You got traffic on both sides of you. You got some idiot putting on the brakes up in front of you. You can't be looking in some magic TV screen, if such a thing existed, to see what's going on behind you.
I saw a thing on the back of a semi. It says, if you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you.
That's right. That's exactly right. But I know that I used to drive small trucks, but I remember, look, you got the 2 side mirrors and you got up front. You're driving a big machine. You got to watch out what's going on up here.
Yep.
If a piece of ice comes off the top of the truck.
That has I think there's 2 phases to the danger of things coming off vehicles. Semis are a different story because they might sit outside at night and they got a trailer and it's high and they don't really climb up on a ladder to walk up there to see what's up there.
See what's up there, yeah.
Of a passenger vehicle, is another story.
Another
These
story.
people that don't take the
right.
stuff off their car and it flies back and hits you. That's a different story because that's just laziness.
That is. And especially when you get a coating of ice over the snow.
Yep.
And the guy says, oh, screw this. I'm not going to
it'll
go
blow
up there
off.
and bang on this stuff. The sun will knock it off or something, you know. And that's dangerous.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been behind semis where, fortunately, it wasn't ice. It was just like deep snow would all of a sudden lift up and come flying at you.
You know, it's always a neat thing, too, is like I've had snow on the roof. And you slam on the brakes and it all comes down the
Just
windshield.
sliding over the front, yeah.
Yeah, you're blinded for a couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shoot. Anyway, I'm skipping around here because Mexican Oxy, a lucrative new product for the cartel. This stuff coming across the Mexican border now, and it's blue pills, and it's actually got fentanyl. It's reinforced with fentanyl. 19-year-old guy took it at a party and died.
Absolutely. Fentanyl is the real killer in that.
And a couple of other people took it, and they were able to call the fire department or the police department, and they were able to give them the stuff that
Narcan.
cures the Narcan, right? And they saved their lives. But now, with this stuff coming across the border, here's one more reason, graphically, why we've got to have a wall. So we take the people and we bring them in through a narrow doorway.
Yep.
All right? Find out who they are, what they got with them. Well, here's a tragedy for you. Amazon has packed up and has backed out of the headquarters that they were going to build in New York City.
Yep.
70% of New York is back to this, but the green people won.
Yep.
And they started yelling and screaming about, we want this, we want that, we want that. So the folks at Amazon said, this is only going to get worse. We're not going to go there. So they lost 25,000 jobs.
Yes, they did. But on the other hand, too, they don't have to put up with 25,000 more cars. They don't have to put up with 25,000 more people, et cetera, et cetera. Amazon's been a two-edged sword wherever they went. Now, the city of Austin, Texas told when they were coming out with their listing, Austin said, take us off the list. We're just not interested. Austin's got traffic problems like we got.
Oh, yeah.
And they're growing so fast and they're so full. They said, we don't really need to grow.
There's a couple of major apartment complexes and other stuff that they're going to build right around where this was going to be.
Oh, positively.
I mean,
it mushrooms.
I really think this would have been a good thing for them in New York. But then, of course, Amazon looks at the taxes they're going to have to pay in New York and all of this. And guess who blew up? De Blasio and Cuomo both this morning.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh, and they really ranted and raved about the Green Party and the Green Plan and all that.
But also Amazon has to look at the people that they're going to have to hire for this or where they're coming from.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people that didn't want to move there. They might be Amazon employees already, and then we're going to New York City. Well, I'm not going to New York City. Because it's a tough life going into the city if you're not a native.
but they get some pretty fair mass transit.
Oh yeah. But just the idea of
But of
going
course,
there.
this is going to be out on Long Island City.
Long Island City.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting turn this morning.
Like I shudder to think what would happen if they would move to Suffolk Downs. My God, can you imagine 65,000 people more trying to move around here? You couldn't do it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Of all the places to put a casino,
Yeah.
they put it in probably the most inaccessible place.
That you can pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they,
It's incredible. Mortgage rates hit a 12-month low, 4.37.
yep.
You know, if you're thinking about buying a second home, Dwayne, I don't think you can do any better than this 4.37.
We already bought the second. We're looking for third and fourth.
Well, third
now.
and fourth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Yeah, well, mortgage rates are going to. Not all the part of the country is gotten into a real estate boom, so to speak, with prices like we have, and we've only gotten into it because of the shortage of inventory. There's not a lot of houses for sale.
you know, I get Kiplinger's financial
Yep.
magazine, and they had snapshots of 100 cities in the U.S. What is the least expensive to the most expensive?
Oh, who is?
And-
What I used to know. Who's on the bottom now?
I can give you 2 or 3 that are on the bottom.
Okay, just
Akron, Ohio, I believe,
yep. Okay,
is
yep.
one.
That'll be one of them.
And there was another small-ish city in Ohio that was way down there. Buffalo is nothing to write home about, nor is Erie, Pennsylvania.
I've noticed that's changed over the years.
Yeah.
Our friends, where they live in north of Austin now, he worked for IBM, and they were in Upper Saddle River, New Jersey, where they lived. And they got sent to Austin, Texas. And they weren't aware, particularly Barb, the wife, wasn't aware of the difference in real estate prices. And they went to see a realtor on the first trip down there. And she said, we sat down with a realtor lady, and she said, how much do you want to spend? And they gave her what they were going to sell their house for in Upper Saddle River. And the woman looked at her and said, I don't have anything for that price. And Barb says, my God, how expensive is Austin?
It's half the price.
She says, you don't understand. I don't have any listings that are that expensive. She said, you can buy half a Holiday Inn, she says, for the money that you're going to get for your house, what you can buy here. So Austin at that time was one of the lowest in the country.
Yeah.
Right now, Austin is way up there already. I see in the paper that Fort Worth, Texas is getting up into the $1 million homes because of so many people were attracted to that low real estate and low expenses.
Supply and demand.
That's right, moving in there by the tens of thousands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, these little places in Florida used to be dirt cheap.
They still are, most of them.
Comparatively, yeah.
Yeah. But it seems to me there's a spot in Indiana up towards the Illinois line that is very, very cheap too. But a couple of the cities in Mississippi and Alabama. But the places north Dakota, South Dakota that used to be dirt poor.
Oh, yeah.
Oil money is up
Oil
there
money.
now, baby.
Oh, North Dakota's not North Dakota anymore.
No, it's not. Yesterday, a couple of days ago, a 93-year-old U.S. Army veteran, James McHugh, passed away.
Yep.
And he had served D-Day, landed at
Was he the individual that didn't have any family or
no
any kind of-
family
Yep.
at all. So they put out the word that they're going to give him a burial with full military honors, and 500 people came.
I think that's very nice.
Yep. And they asked people to come, and that was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Turnout by ex-servicemen and just regular citizens.
It was. It was.
Yeah. And you know what? Where was Governor Baker? or Assistant Governor Polito?
Yeah.
Or our 2 phony senators,
God.
Markey and Warren. Oh, they were down Washington working for
yeah,
us. Yeah. Oh, where was Seth Bolton? He wants to be president too.
He was a Marine veteran, for Christ's
Yep.
sake. He should be there.
Or Attorney General Healy. Or is she still traveling the country
she's
working for...
Still suing ExxonMobil.
I didn't know whether she was still hung up
No,
in
she's
the
got ExxonMobil.
Clinton campaign or not. This is an interesting article. Florida school hires 2 former combat veterans.
Yep.
And they're going to carry long guns.
And the hue and cry went up right away from the Teachers Association, the PTA, and I thought by the ACLU and everybody else. But what do they want?
That's
they
right.
want security or they want some armed guards in there. You can't have both.
You can't have both is right. And they will be roaming the corridors in body armor, each one of them carrying a 9mm Glock handgun and a semi-automatic rifle with a 17-inch barrel. Listen, you got to have more firepower than the guy that comes in the door. Otherwise, you're going to be dead.
You don't want to go to a knife fight with a slingshot.
Yep. They're also going to add a guard shack to its entrance and raise the perimeter fencing by 2 feet. They overwhelmingly chose a school safety officer, by the way.
Yep.
Rather than, they were offered a school resource officer, a school safety officer who's employed, right, or a school guardian. And they overwhelmingly went for the school guardian.
Yep. The people that are against this always painted the most ridiculous scenario to substantiate their position. When they used to say, they were talking for a while about some schools arming teachers. Right away they said, oh my God, Mrs. Anderson's been teaching English for 43 years and she's a little old lady in gray hair. You mean she's going to have to carry an assault rifle around? Well, that's ridiculous. That wasn't the case at all. They would find a couple of teachers that are probably former military, send them in for training, get them all set, and they could be the designated person. They're not walking around with a Thompson submachine gun. But all you got to do in a case like that was to have an armory, so to speak, a closet or something where there are guns, or arms stored. Some people trained to go open that closet up, take it out, and use it. They're not asking but you get the liberal media, they paint this picture as just absurd.
Yeah. Our kids will be afraid of the
Oh,
guns.
yeah, my God. But they won't even know where they are. But nobody else will know where they are
what
either.
They are.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I think this is a great start.
I do too. I believe that any kind of acts of violence like that, if the perpetrator knows there's a risk right off the bat, not all of them, because some of them are just crazy, but sometimes they will either not go through with it or be a lot more careful what they do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know, they also, well, I'm sure this goes without saying, I'm sure they're doing it, you need more TV cameras.
Oh, absolutely.
And you got to make sure you only have one entrance people can come in. And you got cameras on that entrance.
Because someday, God, I hope it doesn't happen, but someday some terrorist organization is going to hit one of our schools. Now, right now, it's been nutcases for the most part, individuals.
For all cases, I think, yeah.
But someday, if ISIS or whoever was, Hezbollah or somebody, really took it on that we're going to make a terrorist act, you take it to a grade school or a middle school, and you walk in there with 6, 8, 10, 15 individuals armed with weapons and explosives, there's going to be a Holocaust formed.
Well, that or a packed shopping mall.
Yeah, or a packed shopping mall. Yep.
How about Black Friday?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go in there, 8 or 10 guys with automatic weapons.
Yep. I'm. God, I hope it don't happen. Everybody else, but
right. Yeah.
It's always a possibility.
Always. This gentleman wrote a very interesting letter to the Globe, Ron Latanisian, something anyway.
We can't pronounce it, so we don't care.
I believe the nuclear electric generation should remain an important part of our energy mix in the future. It is safe, reliable, and green. However, Joshua Miller's piece on the U.S. failure to deal with the spent nuclear fuel is on target. And he goes on to say the waste should be buried in a deep geological repository at Yucca Mountain in Nevada.
That's what place they had picked.
We should impose a moratorium on the construction of any new fission-based nuclear power plant until a license application is back on track at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and Congress approves the funding for construction of a repository. This may seem draconian, but it is not. With an identified site and a policy roadmap in place, what is required is the will to go forward. We've got spent fuel over here, over there, over
stored
here, over there, around the existing or the closed nuclear power plants.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, who the heck was the president of the Senate that blocked this from Utah?
Hatch? No. Who was it from Utah? I don't remember.
Nevada, rather. Nevada.
Okay, I don't know.
He was a terrible man. And he was president of the Senate for like 15 or 18 years, a Democratic leader in the Senate. And he just stopped it.
Well,
not going to happen in my state.
Everybody's NIMBY. Not in my backyard, you won't.
We could have had this problem solved if it hadn't been for that moron. Well, here's one that I think we, as a team, have got to talk about this one. Little Miss Carter, Michelle Carter, has been sentenced to 15 years. Her sentencing has been upheld, and she is now
15 years, 15 months.
15 months, and she's now in prison, women's prison. What is she guilty of?
Well, I don't know. First of all, she's guilty of being a terrible human being. Second of all, I'm not an attorney, and I don't know constitutional law, but just what she did, as how she did it, was to me despicable.
Yeah. I just made a couple of notes here. She coaxed, cajoled, bullied him into this suicide by demanding he get back in the truck. Only 15 months is...
that's to me, seemed quite
is
light.
that all his life was worth?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she played him like a cheap harmonica.
Well, the information that came out earlier in this case is a little bit different than comes out later. Earlier, they said or explained he was looking for a relationship with her. He was very enamored with her. And he wasn't the kind of guy that had a lot of girlfriends, so to speak. He was a little bit on the bashful or shy side. And she played that, and he would have done anything she asked for. Now they're saying that she was in a mental institution but I never heard that for years.
I never heard that either.
Now they're trying to, attorneys are trying to use that as a ploy, but just as a human being, you don't do that. What kind of sicko sits and listens to a guy die?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be a good friend, if not a boyfriend. And not do anything about it.
I don't understand that either. She was overwhelmed by his desire to end it all, and she told him that's the best thing you can do for yourself. Yeah, put an end to it.
Now, you know what I see, and this was a motive early in this case, but they don't bring it out anymore, that she was looking to be a very powerful person amongst her friends, I guess. She could say, look what I could do. I can get this guy to kill himself. And she thought that would really raise her status. But it was sick. It's just plain sick.
Yeah. The people that say, well, we have free speech in this country.
To a certain point you do, but not...
But you can't yell fire in a crowded theater.
That's right.
Not quite the same thing, but yet with a very distraught person who needs help. She refused to give him that help. And when he said, all right, I'm getting back in the truck, she still could have stopped it by calling 911, and she didn't.
She didn't do it. No, she took, I don't know if pleasure, but she took entertainment of listening to him die.
I don't, for the life of me,
well, you know,
I don't know.
No, a similar case to that would be where you're driving down the road and you see this young person standing up on the edge of a bridge or a tall building in the downtown area someplace, and people are gathering, and you step out and say, jump, you so-and-so, jump, go ahead, jump, you got no guts, jump, and urge him to jump, and he jumps off. What do you do then?
Same thing as this.
Well, freedom of speech, yeah, but you encourage this obviously mentally incapacitated person, to jump.
Interesting here, the ACLU doesn't care that Carter intended to cause Roy's death, or that she was far more malicious than a drunken driver who ran someone over after drinking too much, which is also manslaughter. The text messages Carter sent to Roy were cold-blooded. Mm-hmm. She wanted Roy to die so she could gain sympathy and attention from her classmates.
That's stated much better than I did.
As the girl with the dead boyfriend.
Yep.
She should have tried for an insanity defense. Well, there's probably some logic to that she should have tried for an insanity, because
she's got no
a normal person doesn't do that like that. I think that 15 months is very closely akin to a very light tap on the wrist.
Look at it this way. If she'd have just accepted her sentence, did it, she'd have been out for 3 years or 4 years already.
Absolutely.
It would have been all past. But another question is, who in the hell's paying that legal bill? That's got to be millions of dollars by now for those three high-powered.
I would guess it's well over that number.
By now, and then the Supreme Court appellate process, that's expensive.
And if they go to the Supreme Court.
That's what I said, that appellate process is really expensive. Who's footing the bill? I sure as hell hope it ain't the taxpayer.
Oh, I'm sure it's not, but because those aren't court-appointed attorneys.
Oh, God, those three high-powered individuals.
Yeah. Well, have you ever had a dream with your eyes open? Or do you have to have your eyes closed to dream?
No, I don't think so.
Well, look at this. Here's Marty Walsh with his eyes wide open, and he won't rule out a run for governor.
Anything that comes up with Marty Walsh's name on it, it's got to be.
I mean, this guy is toast. Unbelievable. And now he's thinking running for governor? Give me a break.
I don't think he can get reelected as the mayor of Boston, because somebody's going to run a black female against him.
Well,
or a minority female, and then they're going to pick up their whole vote.
Michelle Wu is the president of the city council, and she's already making all kinds of noises, not necessarily about running for him, but she's exercising muscle.
The time is getting ripe for some of these candidates.
Well, that's right. And Marty's is the wrong person at the wrong time.
Yeah, you're right.
If you take a look at Boston now, you got this group here, this group there, this group here, this group there, this group there, and none of them are white guys.
No.
It's all different ethnics, different colors, different races. But they all want a piece of the pie, like the Irish.
Yep, exactly.
That came along and booted the Brahmins out.
You look at the past mayors.
Italians.
The past mayors. You got him. You had Menino before that.
Yep.
Menino had this aurora about him, like the friendly little uncle that everybody likes. But he wasn't that at all.
He was an iron fist.
He was a tough and not so fair a lot of times. And he had this group, he had his electorates, and now here comes along Mr. Walsh. He's got union. He says to the electrical workers, you're going to vote for this. The iron workers, you're going to do this. This one, Teamsters, you're going to do this. And they, in the back room, they make the deals, and it's done. Those influences have waned now.
Of course, you got Kevin from Heaven.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Kevin White. You got Ray Flynn.
Ray Flynn, he was...
Yeah. So you had 3 or 4 Irish guys in a row. And then Menino from the North End. But it's the minority's turn, and they're going to sweep the white guys out.
You're exactly right. I think.
In a city, now the state of Massachusetts, different story. But in a city, bingo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The city is a very grouped type bunch.
Yep. Now, the Boston City Council has refused the right of a Salem-based Satanist group that they say they have been denied a chance to say the invocation at a city council meeting. They have filed the complaint.
Probably be the most intelligent thing all night for a city council meeting.
Has filed a complaint with the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination.
Yep.
Founded in 2013, the temple describes itself as non-theistic religious organization that sees Satan as a representative of the eternal rebel, enlightened inquiry, and personal freedom, rather than a supernatural deity or being, it said in a statement. The mission of the Satanic Temple is to encourage benevolence and empathy among all people, reject tyrannical authority, advocate practical common sense and justice, and be directed by the human conscience to undertake noble pursuits guided by the individual will. The last time I checked, this country was established under Christian Judeo teachings and ethics.
Correct. It was.
This falls outside the pale, and I don't see where this clown really, this gentleman, Lucien Graves, really deserves this opportunity.
Look at his first name.
Lucien.
Lucifer.
Yeah, Lucifer.
Cute.
Yeah. This doesn't fit in the box, it seems to me.
These guys are these fringe. I'm going to call them fringe because they're not mainstream. They're someplace way out on the edge. He's looking for publicity. You know, he's got it because it got in the paper.
Yeah.
Who the hell heard of these people before? Nobody really did. Now all of a sudden he says, I got our name out there. We're going to get this. We're going to get that.
I'm going to go to MCAD, and I'm going to make them let me.
And pretty soon there's going to be reporters hanging around and somebody else. Then we're going to do a lawsuit, and the ACLU is going to pick it up for us. And now we might make some bucks off of this.
You know, actually, one way to handle this would be to say, yeah, come on down to our next meeting. Yeah, you can do the invocation. And have just, when he starts, just everybody get up and leave.
Or just,
or just pay no attention.
Pay no attention to him.
All done now? Great.
All right.
Give us a call.
That's
3
right.
years from now. We'll do it again. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah. But you make a fuss about it.
That's right.
Then it gets what you got.
And then, after he's gone, steps down, then have a man of the cloth get up and give a typical invocation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But by refusing, he gets what he wants.
Of course he got what he wants.
He's the bad little boy that says, I'm going to hold my breath and stamp my foot.
The paper's talking about, we're talking about it.
That's right. All right. A man allegedly fired, a man, Jeffrey Logan, 38, was arrested.
I know where you're going with this one.
This guy has got quite a past history as a drug addict, serving time in prison, a drug dealer. So this kid, 17 years old, is out shoveling snow. He walks up behind him and says to him, starts telling him all about himself, and then says, and make sure there's no snitching. You keep your mouth shut about what I told you about my past.
Yeah.
The kid turns around to shovel snow, and he fires a gun 3 feet behind his head, up in the air. Now, if that kid doesn't have nightmares for the next 3 years, it'll be a miracle. Now, they've arrested this jerk, and he has had 4 prior restraining orders taken out against himself, and his prior record includes 4 guilty dispositions out of Suffolk Superior Court for illegal possession of a firearm. 4.
Well, that should be 4 years in jail, isn't it?
And here's number 5.
That's right. I mean, why is he still out there?
Why is this cretin out there?
That's right.
Yes. Now, now I wonder, this probably took place in what, Suffolk County? No, it's arraigned in Woburn County. I was going to say the district attorney may say, I don't want to prosecute him. Yeah, we don't need him in jail.
We got 5.
Okay. Unbelievable. We could keep our eye on this and see what he's sentenced to. But you know what? It'll never be in the paper.
No, I don't think they'll sentence him to anything.
Nope. Well, here's another very important item we must talk about. New Hampshire court upholds the ban on bare breasts. 3 women bared their breasts at Hampton Beach and on Go Topless Day and were arrested. There's a local ordinance that bans this practice.
This was a practice 2 or 3 years ago in Vermont on some town square.
Yeah.
These girls were going out taking their tops off, and they were getting arrested and all this kind of stuff. But the local businesses said, "Oh my God, this is great! We never had so many people coming to town. I've never been so busy in our life here."
You know, I've always said, there was a guy, I forget where the hell it was, out in the Midwest someplace, that started a topless car wash.
Oh, yeah.
What the heck is wrong with that?
Great for business, okay.
Absolutely. So, I don't know. I mean, I wonder what the New Hampshire legislature will have. Maybe they'll talk to the Massachusetts legislature to get some ideas, and that ought to be quite a meeting of the minds. And I'm sure that the Massachusetts legislators will say, well, just delay it and it'll go away. Or send it off to study committee.
Send it off to a study committee, yeah.
Where all good things die. I don't want to start that. I want to talk about that later.
I could be real sexist with this thing, but
yes, yeah. But look, what harm is it?
It ain't hurting anything.
No.
The first time we went to Aruba, they're kind of liberal with their tops. And we got there on a Saturday, and Saturday and Sunday it was full of Venezuelans. I mean, not your typical run of the Venezuelan, but the young, upscale, female, very well endowed, terrific bodied young ladies. I know this is sexist, but so I'm walking all over, checking around, and comes Monday morning. I said to Monica, well, I'm going to walk up and down the beach. She's going to look for the sights, aren't you? I said, yeah. I come back at lunch. She says, what's the matter? You look all dejected. I said, they're all gone. I didn't know they were just there for the weekend. The Venezuelans come over for the weekend. I said, there's nothing here left but 65, 70-year-old old women from New York City. I said, they burnt my eyes just looking at them. She serves you right.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
You can send the postcards here if you want. I don't care. Protest. Okay.
So, folks, on that note, we're going to have to...
and it's a hell of a note to end on.
It is. What a note to end on. But I'll tell you what, we're going to have to call it a halt. We've burned off an hour. So please come back and see us next time.
Yeah, good.
We'll have other important items to discuss.
And when you hear about it, you want to talk about somebody, you heard it from the bald guy and the fat guy.
There you go. Folks, good night and see you next time.
Bye.